the conference.
Recording is on.
Too early, but okay. It's okay. It's okay. Well, it's the live effect. So, what to say? Well, welcome to this session of the
Recording is on.
Hour. And today we are live also from the openSUSE conference. So the setup is not our usual setup. We hope that things will work, but let's see. In any case, let's try to have our session. And today, for what concerns our agenda, I will start together with Michael and Pablo with an update on our project. Then we will have a follow-up update from one of our mentees from the GSoC, Akash. And then we will close with Vladimir that will give us an overview of the changes on the database connection. So let's get started. Maybe you saw the announcement in the openSUSE news platform. And finally, officially, the Uyuni project is an official openSUSE project. And this is something that comes from far away. And I mean, if you attended already some openSUSE conference, you saw already in the past some presentation about Uyuni and some presentations about our project. In particular, in 2018, we were exactly at the openSUSE conference presenting Uyuni as a fork, as a new established project. And a lot happened since 2018, and today we are also here for celebrating this new additional milestone for our community and for our project. So 2018, the announcement, but I mean, the Uyuni project, it's nothing appearing from one day to the other. We have developers here, so you know. We have also some of the people that were part of this important moment. But in general, for the others that maybe are around here that don't know exactly the project, it's important to say that Uyuni is something that starts really far away. Everything, let's say, started in the Spacework repository in 2008, and that was the project where there were contributions from Red Hat and also from SUSE, and that one was the base for Satellite 5 from Red Hat, and of course for SUSE Manager for what concerns SUSE. The problem is that when it was 2018, the project was not exactly in a healthy state because everything felt, stopped in a way. And the SUSE Manager project that now is called the SUSE Multi-Linux Manager is the answer to what was in reality Satellite. And the idea was to have something, of course, in common, but something that was easy to install, maybe going containers, maybe with a user interface that was using modern technologies. And that was the start of this project, intended also as something that could be used as an enterprise product. But of course, there was more behind, and there were a lot of issues in getting the reviews done and pull requests merged. There was the feeling that there was this lack of vision, the lack of a real future for the project, and what you see in the slide is also a snippet from the FAQ from the old spacewalk repository. I mean, that message is clear. You know that you are trying to do contributions to a project that is very likely going to disappear. They talk only about maintenance, stabilization. That for sure it's something important, but they were not talking about the news, the development of the project. And then the community started to question what was the future. This quote is again from the mailing list. Unfortunately, the archive of the mailing list is not available anymore. It's not that the link is broken, but it's not available. So also that maybe is still even more underlying that maybe it was a good idea in 2018 to decide to depart and take another direction. And in the FAQ, and this was the status from April 2018, because then the FAQ have been changed too. There was a clear ask for someone else to take over. So it was clear that Red Hat didn't have any real interest in bringing over that specific project. And that was the answer. A group of people, a group of community, and also people from SUSE deciding to say, okay, it's the moment we go and we create a vision. And it's great to see that this one is the vision from 2018, and it's still true. We achieved exactly what we wanted in 2018. The desire was to have things done in public. Yes, it is. Our repositories are public. We are still building everything in the open. Okay, we don't have all the mailing lists that we had in the past. We only have one, but actually we moved to different technologies, to different platforms. But still, the discussions are happening in the open. And this desire to be together with the community is still there, and we see community members contributing to the project, be engaged, and I mean, we are here today, and this is our community hour, so we are still trying to connect the people that are working at SUSE with the rest of the community that is engaged and is interested to do great things with our project. Not everything went as we planned, because in 2018 there was also the idea to support non-Linux clients. And well, who knows what the future will say, but the present is quite clear, and we are happy to support Linux clients, but who knows. But jokes apart, I mean, you can really see that the vision that we had, what we were drafting, is indeed the reality that we see these days. And just at the last community hours, we celebrated, May, we celebrated the 8th anniversary of the project. And we are still here, kicking and continuing to improve our project and the product in general. So this is the announcement I was talking about. I mean, we always had this connection with openSUSE. The announcement of the fork has been done at the openSUSE conference. We are using the build service. We are using the mailing list and the infrastructure from openSUSE. So the reality is that we never had something official, something, let's say, formal, but we were already part of the community. And I think it was time to finally make this move and claim our membership in the openSUSE project. And it was great to simply see that when we asked, the openSUSE board was just open, and everyone was saying, of course, it's normal. Why we need this? It's clear that you are part of the project. because this is the great also aspect of the openSUSE community. They are really open, and they never even thought to close the door to us and to push us away. And yeah, I think it's this is the right moment to celebrate finally this union between the between the openSUSE project and the Uyuni project. We are quite melting, I have to say here, because in Nuremberg it's absolutely hot. But yeah, we are happy to just melt down together with you for celebrating this new milestone for our community. And of course, little reminder, I know that if you are connected from remote, very likely you know how to be part of our community, but there are also some other people here. So our main website has all the references, but in the contact page, then you can find the mailing list, the Git instant messaging, and all the other ways to be in touch with us and to start to be a real active contributor of our project. And of course, it's Thursday, it's the last Thursday of the month, and this is our community hour, our monthly meeting where we share what we achieve and where we want to go. And just a little spoiler. I mean, before this session, we had Pablo presenting the journey, I would say, that we had for migrating how we build and we release Uyuni to the Git workflow. You already saw some news in the previous community hours, but of course that presentation when the recording will be available could be worth to be seen, because of course you have the current status, the today's status, and yeah, migration is done. So the next Uyuni release will be the first one completely released on this new Git workflow. And tomorrow we will have Michele presenting Uyuni, or better, running Uyuni everywhere. So yeah, feel free to join us also tomorrow if you want. The sessions will be also recorded, so if you are in Nuremberg, please join. Otherwise, you can also wait for the recordings. There is also the streaming from the conference, so in theory the streaming should work, and you should be able to see the presentation directly live. And with that, I would, sorry, double tap. I would hand over to our first presentation of the day. So we have in the last community hours, I was giving you an introduction of the project that this year we are having with the Google Summer of Code. We had some of our mentees introducing their project, but not all of them. And today we continue with this overview, and in particular we will see the project from Akash. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. That is about the Uyuni storage benchmarking. And before handing over to you, just a reminder, the Summer of Code is a really long project. It's not just a few hours of coding, but as you can see from this timeline, things will go on until September. So at the moment, we are really in the coding phase. And yeah, looking forward to see how your project is going on.
And I want also to emphasize, Akash is a returning student from openSUSE because he participated and was already successful last year with openSUSE, not on Uyuni, but on renter-related topics. So we're really glad to have Akash with us.
Yeah, thanks for that, Cedric. So I will go ahead and share my screen. So I hope my slides are visible.
Yep, we can see
Yes.
them.
So this year my project is benchmarking different storage classes and finding which one, giving a report which one should Uyuni use and Uyuni support. So we have a bunch of candidates like NFS, ISQC, or Longhorn, Chef, etc. So the main goal is to automate, to write automation for different workflows and compute the benchmarking results for those workflows when like when a particular storage class is used. So this is the whole goal of the project. And so this presentation would be kind of an update on how things are progressing with the project. So uh, so the first thing is, what I'm trying to do is currently is automating workflows. So the first workflow which I'm trying to automate is, and have automated, is syncing packages into any server. So like given a repository channel, uh, how much time it takes to sync the package. And so that is the first goal of automation. And once we run repo sync on that particular channel, then we would have the benchmarking results like duration, etc. Uh, so so this update so this update basically, I hope there's no sound from my side coming. Is it hello?
We can still hear you. Just go ahead. Wow.
Everything okay?
What happens on your side?
Seems fireworks, or at least I hope.
I hope whatever. Uh,
Don't worry, it's okay.
you see,
And we have the police coming here.
that's what it was the party because we joined the open.
Yeah, I hope it is all. So okay, so this update covers the benchmark path from end to end. So we would first prepare a local repo. By local repo, I mean choosing a repository. So I intentionally chose a smaller repository with 3,227 packages. And this repository, we then mount this repository into the server pod. So, and once we mounted the repository, we would be running repo sync. And then after the repo sync completes, I have a parser logic written in Ruby code. And that parser logic would parse the logs and deduce important metrics like how much time it takes for the database, like all the packages to import, how much time it takes to link those packages, etc. And what's the whole duration of how repo sync, of how much time repo sync ran for. So this is the ultimate goal of the automation. So one thing which comes to mind is, during benchmark computation, we don't want, the goal should be not to calculate, uh, the internet speed, like the internet speed and the bandwidth results, because it would significantly increase the duration if the internet bandwidth is slow. So uh, to I hope my voice is clear.
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Yeah. So if to avoid using an internal mirror for reposing, in reposing, CMD command line tool, there's a flag named dash dash file. So with dash dash file, you can provide the file you can provide the file path mounted in your server pod, and the repo sync won't pull the packages from the upstream repo but from your local file system. So uh, so we need a way to get those files into the Uyuni server pod. So so to accommodate this, what I did was create a PR. So we had a PR to Uyuni server pod. So that PR added extra volume support. So in Helm, you can write something like this: server Helm server, and then extra volumes. So uh, based on this, you can mount an extra volume into the Uyuni server pod, and that extra all the contents of those extra volume will go into the Uyuni server pod. So I created a volume with those 3000 packages already downloaded, and then mounted did a Helm upgrade and mounted the volume into the pod. So now coming to this, we already reached the mounted file repo, and then now is the time to actually run the repo sync. So so the flow is something like this: we have a mounted local repo, then we run the repo sync, and repo sync consists of multiple steps like package import, database import, channel linking, and the final state of the spacewalk directory. So all of these steps we would be accommodating into our benchmark results. So the command which we are running in our Ruby code is spacewalk reposing dash -c, and then in the URL we provide a file path. Uh, and to enable this entire automation, the first thing was I created an extra volume support. So that PR is already merged. The PR number is 12108, and there's also another support for NFS server module. So till now there was only local path provisioner in Uyuni in Suma form. So now you can deploy NFS in Suma form environment, and that PR is still open. It's in review. It's approved, I guess. We need to merge it. So and so this is the entire enablers which allowed us to automate the reposing behavior. Uh, so coming to the coming to the actual scenario. So we have a cluster ready. So I have a cluster. I've created a Uyuni server VM and Uyuni server controller, and from the controller I ran the Cucumber test suite. So I've written a Cucumber test suite like this. I have a scenario storage benchmark full reposing, and then I have written the Cucumber the Ruby steps for each of these like given lines, and those enable us to actually perform the repo sync. Coming to how we can run this from controller. So we can write something like rec cucumber, and then we can provide the specific Kubernetes storage benchmark. So it is separate from long running storage. Like we have kept it separate from the normal validation flow. So you have to enable it manually to run the benchmark. So I would quickly share my terminal here. So just give me a minute and show you how things look like in the Unipod. Yeah, yeah. So I'm already inside my prefix server VM, and inside the VM, I have these many pods running, and the pod which is of interest to us is this one. So I did a kubectl describe, and as you can see, we have a volume mounted in it, Unibench source containing all the packages, all the existing packages. And if I cd into this particular pod, then I can show you the repo sync of how repo sync ran and what is the summary file. So let me do that. So it would be this and dash dash bash.
By the way, the namespace is not pod, is Uyuni.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Dash dash.
I just need one dash.
Okay. Yeah. Workspace. So in Uyuni bench we have results. Actually don't remember what was it. There were multiple instances. Okay. Yeah. So in this you can see how much time it took to complete. So it completed in 200 seconds, and also you can see how many packages were imported, and every metrics we like calculated using the parser written in the PR. So we have package metrics in which we have package count of how many packages were linked, how many roted files were downloaded, and then we have phase timings. So this is very important. So when did the sync started? We calculated that, and there are multiple phases. So there's sync, and there's then download started, import started, and channel link started, patch metadata started, and sync completed. So we using these timestamps we calculate the difference between picking one and subtracting it from the previous one, and we calculated these many duration seconds. So all these duration seconds would help us choose uh, which storage backends should we actually use. So right now we have using a local path provisioner. So let me go back to my presentation. Okay. Yeah. So right now we are using a local path provisioner, and the results you can see are like this. So the metadata is taking 6 seconds, and the
Can
most.
you get the slides full screen because it's super small.
Okay. So I will be just sharing the
Yeah,
entire.
that's much better. Thanks.
Okay. Don't know why it keeps thinking the. Just give me a minute. Yeah, I hope it is visible. Is it visible?
We can see your screen, yes.
Yes. So
Now it's better, yeah.
yeah. So the DB import is taking a lot of time here, 119 seconds. So the DB import is the thing which is taking a lot of time, and we are currently using the local path provisioner, not NFS, not Longhorn, not OpenEBS. And coming to Longhorn, we would be using Longhorn after V2 release, and so it would be, I think, released in after 1 or 2 releases, if I'm right. Set.
Yeah, I have been told that we need to wait for Longhorn Engine V2 to be released and used, which is in 1 or 2 releases, in theory.
Yes. So so this is the entire result which we got, and so the main thing is we would be going from local path provisioner. Now I would be running it against an NFS server, and then OpenEBS, then RockSF, and other storage backends as well, if time allows. And the next steps would be to get my current PR of repo sync, like automating the repo sync behavior merged, and then I would be running it against multiple additional backends, and then I would be on the track to automate another workflow where clients which multiple clients would fetch the packages from server, and then we would be computing benchmark results from there, like the duration and all. So yeah, this is the entire goal. And if you want, I can show the how we are computing the benchmark results. So I can share the gist file, which allows us to compute the benchmark results. So you can probably share it in the chat, or I can just show it once. Yeah. So this is the gist I created. So in Cucumber, we first, before running the spacewalk reposing command, we have the started at and finished at time, started at time, and after we have finished at time, we calculate the duration like this. And we also need to validate whether the all the packages are synced or not. So we use the Uyuni API, the list all packages API, to get the imported packages count, and we compare it from the RPM count in our mounted volume. And then we have the log parsing step where we parse the logs. Basically, these are the key lines which we parse. And once we parse those, we have the summary.json file with these metrics. And the metric list is big, but this is the summary of the metrics. So I will quickly go ahead and share this in the chat. Yeah, I think that's it from my side. Any questions?
Not a question from me, but a comment and something that I want to tell to others. We also plan to do some benchmarks on database heavy queries at some point. So filling the database with many data and run some long running query or one that is usually IO intensive and see how it performs.
Thanks a lot. That looks good.
Yeah, indeed.
And
Really.
that will be helpful. I guess this was based on the last code on the head of Uyuni, right?
Sorry, couldn't get your last one.
That was, you were using the head source code, right, from Uyuni, the latest
Yes.
one.
Yes.
Donna has her hand raised.
Indeed. Don, sorry, I didn't see the hand.
That's okay. So the point is not just to analyze it, right? It's to try to find where improvements need to be made. And we've long known that the database part is the longest part. So do we have some plan to optimize that, or are we waiting for a comparison with Longhorn storage?
Well, optimization is something that it would be good to have, but first thing that we wanted to see is figure out what kind of RK2 users, what kind of storage backend RK2 users can use. Like if we figure out that Longhorn or any other backend is not performing correctly comparing to the local path provisioner, then this one is ruled out for now. But yes, reposing has inherent performance problems to be fixed.
Any other question?
One more question. On the backends, we use the default configuration, I guess, from the backends. No optimization on that database storage, right?
Indeed, no. And here we're using RK2, and RK2 has no default storage backend. So we picked the one that is in K3S, local path provisioner. So it's basically mounting local folders in the pod. And no, we're not tweaking it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Anything else? Okay, then thanks again.
And just a small call for help. If you have hardware that is worth being used for running this benchmark at some point, that would be cool to give us access.
Yeah, so my current hardware is almost full, like 25 GBs left. So, and it's a slow performing system. So I have my laptop, Linux laptop, set up as a server. So I'm SSHing into it through my Mac and running the benchmarks.
So if you have some net app or disk or bay that we can use to test on, we'd happily get access there.
I will look in my cellar.
Okay, then yeah.
I would be exploring NetApp and see if I can give access to you all.
Then I think we can move to the next presenter. So thanks again, Akash, and we'll go with
Yeah, thanks.
with Vladimir.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now it should be even better.
Yes.
And my screen. And now you see the slides. So my name is Vladimir Nadvornik, and I want to present recent changes that I made in the code base to database connection. So here we have the problems that we had before. We set up SSL connection between the main container and database container, so that required creating SSL certificate with internal hostname DB and report DB. Apparently, this is against some strict security policies because the names, these are just host names without full domain name. And also this rather complicated the setup of certificates and deployment in general. Another problem was that main database was completely open to the internet. That was also considered kind of regression against non-containerized setup where the main database was only on localhost. And last thing, we enabled SSL everywhere, but it was not really enforced. So it was possible to connect to report DB or also to main database with unencrypted connection over internet. And so what's now in Git? I've changed it so internal connection between containers is always without SSL. External connection to main database is disabled, and external connection to report DB is there is enforced SSL connection. So this slide is my main message, and now we can look into implementation details. The configuration is controlled by PGHBA file in Postgres container. the challenge was to identify what is internal network and what is external network, because in theory, Podman and Kubernetes can come up with random IP ranges or also random host names, but I found a solution. Postgres can do reverse DNS lookup on incoming clients and do filtering according to hostname or domain name. For Podman, it was then easy because incoming connection from neighbor container resolved to the name of this container. In our case, the name is Uyuni server. On Kubernetes, it was more complicated. The hostname was random, but the domain name was stable, but there is a catch. This reverse lookup doesn't work during startup of the container, so this was then fixed by using internal network range, and this needed another exception for traffic which routes external connections through this internal network range. So we need to differentiate it. Another thing was that because of this, we need to generate this PGHBA conf file, and we have to split these generated rules and user customization. So now we support a special custom configuration in separate file. This is an example how this configuration looks on Podman. First, we include the custom file, so custom file can override everything. Then there are rules for internal connection from the database container itself. Then there is unrestricted connection from Uyuni server and SSL connection to Report-DB from external or from all clients.
Vladimir?
Yeah.
I see that you allow connection from Uyuni server. Did you add the other containers that are accessing the database, like the Cocoa attestation containers?
It's not there, and I didn't see it accessing the database, so I'm not sure about that.
Well, for sure, Cocoa attestation is accessing the database.
Okay, so that means that this is a bug. Okay, so this is the version for Kubernetes. Now we have this special rule from Kube's system domain. This is incoming external connections from traffic, and then we have internal network range or the domain, and SSL connection for Report-DB. So this setup simplified the generation of certificates. So now we don't need this special DB and Report-DB sense, and it's still possible to use different certificates for database and main server, but I think there is not many reasons to do that, and therefore MGR ADM now generates the same certificates that's used everywhere. And during testing of these, I found that the arch-enconf switch for enabling or disabling SSL on database is used rather inconsistently in the code. Sometimes it tried SSL connection even if it was disabled. Sometimes it could do silent fallback to non-encrypted connection even if it was enabled. For some part of code it was completely ignored, so I went through the code and enforced this consistent behavior. When it's enabled, it maps to Postgres verify full mode. When it's disabled, then it's really disabled. Currently we don't use SSL enabled, but it's ready for the future when we use external database. So I think that's all. So now it's room for questions.
Sadi?
Yeah, so you mentioned the consistent use in RH-conf. Do we have other client mechanisms that connect to the database without reading from RH-conf?
I
I think
haven't
so.
found any. I haven't found any. Everything was reading RH-conf, and at least it picked the host name. Mostly it ignored everything else, but there is mechanism for reading RH-conf.
Ricardo says salt.
I think salt event processor has the database connection defined on the.
So I have fixed salt, so but it was reading this RH-conf and did some mapping to salt configuration. So I added this particular option.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, if there are no other questions, that's all from me.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
I got muted, I don't know how. Okay, sorry.
One question. When the next Uyuni version comes out and customers migrate to that, I think it's 26.06 or so.
Yep.
Will that change in the certificate handling require manual work, or will it work by magic?
Because of these changes, the old certificates can be used, but as far as I know, there is another problem related to certificates.
Yes, and this is something I don't know if anyone wanted to mention it here, but I think it's worth doing it.
Feel free to go.
So, the discovery is that when moving the proxy images to Leap 16.0, we found out the Python 3.13 is more strict when checking certificates. So it requires the CA to mark the basic extensions as critical. Problem is that our self-signed certificate that we generate did not have this critical keyword, and it means that all the users who have these certificates, these root CA certificates, will need to rotate the root CA. Good thing is that nothing happened, nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong on the server, so the upgrade can happen. But if for some reason there are some SSL clients that are stricter, then they will have to rotate. I think Michael fixed the proxy to not be that strict for now.
Pablo, yeah.
Or Pablo, but so at least the proxy is not complaining, so you can upgrade. But if you have some clients on openSUSE 16.0, for instance, maybe they can complain.
So possible problem could be when you are using space CMD on /60 client, because that is Python and that will open a connection to the API using the strict of flags. That would be maybe a possibility. Yeah.
Julio?
So adding to what Cedric said, especially important this time, it's always important, but this time even more, keep an eye on the release notes, because there will be notes about this and you will need to plan probably the upgrade of this of Uyuni from the previous version to 06.
Yeah, but what I hear from Cedric, you will have to do anyway something, because it doesn't matter if you first switch the certificates or first upgrade, you will always run into a problem, either with the old server or with the new server.
Yeah, my point here, of course, is that if someone cannot really do that rotation of the CA certificate, basically maybe at the same time that you are doing the upgrade to 2.06, then maybe you need to consider staying a little bit with the old version and plan yourself to do it as soon as possible, so you don't run into problems with some clients, for example.
Well,
It's not
as Michael said, the problem would be if you're using Space CMD or any stricter SSL client. But if you don't have these cases, then you can already upgrade to the new version and take the time you need to roll out the new root CA. The CA generation tool that we have is fixed to add the new keyword in the next release. But in general, rolling out the CA in all the infrastructure takes time. So it can be done. I mean, you can upgrade first and then roll out the CA at your own rhythm. And yes, there will be doc and tools on how to do this.
Yeah, we will send an announcement and a big fat warning everywhere. But yeah, I mean, let's see. Would be interesting for sure.
Thanks.
Any more questions? No? Anything else to share that is not part of... Okay. Thanks for joining us.
And something worth sharing, you were mentioning that we were somehow part of openSUSE since the beginning, and without saying it. And I would also thank openSUSE here because
For the GSoC.
For Google Summer of Code. We have been participating in Google Summer of Code since for a few years, and part of openSUSE organization. And yeah, and this year again, we're part of openSUSE organization.
Yeah, indeed.
2606 is coming as soon as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Will be still marked as 06, even if June is almost ending. We will try our best. But yeah, we are...
some days to go.
Exactly. The month has still some days available, and we will try to release the 06 soon. But as always, stay tuned, check release notes and all the informations, because this time as you got the releases, the upgrade will be interesting. Yeah. Yeah, Don, you're right, indeed, because I mean we are building our containers on top of openSUSE. So before LEAP, several different versions of LEAP. We are installing the product on top of Tumbleweed. So definitely, thanks also for the operating systems that we are consuming. Definitely, thanks. Any more comment, feedback? Seems not. So we are close to the end of the hour, and we have more presentations coming from the openSUSE conference. So thanks a lot for joining, and see you next month. Bye.
So
Bye-bye.
when is 2606 coming out?
Probably as
Soon.
soon as
Soon, definitely soon.